All right, as we embark onto our first experience of Omnath the Gathering post-Uro ban, I'm interested to see how things go. I currently have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 standard decks in my deck queue waiting to be played. I am tentatively not accepting any more new standard submissions until we're through, let's say, 4 of these. On Thursday, I will decide at the end of the standard segment if I intend to accept more standard decks. There is a chance that banning Uro means that interactive decks like this have an easier time keeping up with Omnath. Now, the big thing that banning Uro changes is that while the Omnath decks have a lot of incredibly powerful cards in them, counter spells like Neutralize are much, much better than they previously were. The fact that being able to counterspell their cards and one-for-one them meaningfully is something we can actually do. It's not like Uro is going to draw a card and then it's going to escape and then it's going to escape and then it's going to escape. Yeah, I really feel like Disdainful Stroke not being evergreen is probably a punt on their part. I feel like if you asked me, should Stroke be evergreen, my answer would be yes. In fact, looking at this, I think I'm going to add a 4th Neutralize before we dive in, because I think that card, that effect specifically, is going to be pretty important. So what is this deck doing? This deck is leveraging Lukka here, who gets more than just Agent of Treacheries. Lukka turns your tokens into whatever creatures in your deck. So the only creature in our deck is Godzilla the Doom Inevitable, which you can cycle 4 times to get a free copy of, or we can target any of our token cards with Lukka to flip an 8/8. Someone asked what Evergreen means. So Magic has a rotating format called Standard that we are playing, and Evergreen would mean it's almost always Standard legal. So a card like Negate or Shock, for example, those cards are generally considered Evergreen. You can always reach for them and know that they're going to be legal. Did I just queue into Historic by default? I think I just reflex joined the Historic queue. Is that what I did? Did I just reflex? Because I don't think the Amonkhet board comes up in the standard queue, right? Magic shareholders greater than Magic players, ain't that the truth? If it's Historic, I'm going to concede and get us a standard match. Play a shock land for me. Alright, sweet. Good stuff, good stuff. Apologies for the misfire. It's a good thing I don't care about my rank. Good thing this isn't Moto, where going into the wrong queue costs $10. To be fair, in Moto's defense, and this is something Arena should probably change, it's actually difficult and you have to go through extra work to join a different format queue with a different format's deck on Moto. So like they're sorted differently and it's more apparent. Like, it's tough to mistakenly join a Pioneer queue with the standard deck. This game board looks like something straight out of a PlayStation 2 game. Feels a lot less, like, elegant than a lot of the other game boards that they have. I think they do a good job in general with a lot of their boards in this game. I feel like this one's kind of low quality compared to the rest of them. Golgari can be free with bugs and stuff. That's true. Am I going to add a standard deck to my website in the near future? No. Putting decks on my website is an incredible amount of work when we have no idea if standard's going to be playable or not. I don't even know if I'm still going to be playing standard in the near future, much less putting standard decks on my site. Was that the best draw on the deck? I think it was. I think it was, chat. Numero uno. Did Uro get banned today? Uro got banned in standard today. Good evening, Zach. You know, Zach, and this isn't always true for me, but I think if you rated how I feel about the changes they presented today, both the Walking Dead stuff and the ban, I think I'm, like, neutral at worst about it. I think there's a chance that the metagame can actually adjust without Uro in it. There's also a chance that it doesn't. I'm not going to profess to know the future, but I think there's a chance things end up potentially being okay with just Uro gone. You know, there's a lot of people that, like, wanted the formats, like, completely gutted. They wanted way more than just Uro removed. Like, I don't think it can properly be overstated how bad Uro makes playing interaction. And the hope is that by removing Uro from the format, you allow cards like Omnath to be largely checked by people being interactive. Yeah, there are a lot of people railing to basically nuke the format. I don't know. I don't know that, like, I think there's a chance that things can maybe be okay. We'll see. I think that Uro was a pretty uniquely offensive card, and it's easy to get caught up in Uro being the norm instead of the exception. I think I'm just neutralizing this mammoth. So, like, the good news is we can pay 6 mana to make 2 1/1s and, like, get our chump block on. So that's sweet. Yeah, so a lot of people have been calling for Cobra bans, and, like, Cobra is super interactable a lot of the time. And I think powerful cards that are interactable are good things in general. Like, playing with strong cards is fun. The problem is when strong cards exist that are interactable, but cards like Uro also discourage people from playing interactions simultaneously, I think is a big part of the problem. So like I said, I think there's a chance that banning Uro does address issues, and we'll find out, right? Like, there's a lot going on in these games. It's very easy to act like we have all the answers, but there really isn't a substitute for experience in Magic. There's just too many variables. I'm pretty sure I'm cycling this. Opponent made a whoopsie-poopsie accounting there. Run! It's Godzilla! So, I can make a 3/3 shark Or I could cycle both of these and get 2 1/1s. It's probably just a 3/3 shark, right? I can hold this to trigger Alliance next turn. There are not any creatures in graveyards at the moment, right? So I can put this here. I can put these 2 here, but then I go to 3, so I probably want to get my chump on again. No creatures, right? No creatures. To the person I just banned complaining that it was about time I play a real card game, listen. Think of me as your television. You don't need to yell at your television when the television's not playing something you're not happy with. Just change the channel. It's okay for other people to like different things, and you don't have to like all of the things that I like. It's okay, I promise. This lets me continue treading water, right? I get to grab this, and I could go trade, chump, chump, take 3 down to 2. I'm not dead yet. Thanks, Wicked Hood. I agree. I've been having fun playing a variety of things, too. Life is short. There's lots of great games out there. And Magic's one of them, chat. Magic's one of the great games out there. It's okay to like Magic and also like other things, though. Lucas Dragon, thank you for the 19 months. Dear opponent, please don't ram through me. I've tried so hard and come so far. Akroan War being red double Doomblade is definitely exceeding expectations. Alright, so if I cycle into Spikefield, I can kill both these 1/1s, which means this can no longer attack. But is that enough? I don't think so. Shatterskull. Gosh, we're short, right? We're at exactly 2, so I can Shatterskull, kill the 1/1s, and then this can't attack, and then I can chump block these, but then we die exactly here. And I can't kill this and these, and this makes a 1/1 even if I did try to kill it, right? Rats, close game. My sideboard's not really great here. I guess Neutralize is my only really bad card, and we'll just board in Cinderclasm and Storm's Wrath for that. That seems fine. It's a shame we couldn't have found one more Godzilla Doom Inevitable there. All right, we've got some standard results in. Oh, this is only 18 players. Is that good enough? It was Omnath's 4-color Omnath. Had 3 people play it to a 7-3 finish. Look at that. 83% non-mirror match win rate. The Improbable Alliance stalled a lot. It did stall a lot. This is probably fine, right? I guess no Alliance is a pretty big downside. Hey, thanks for the 10 months, Kyle. I really appreciate the Prime support. Welcome back. Yeah, but like, that's a really small sample size. I agree that number is high. The sample size is not. It's an 18 player tournament. Scry me a river, baby. Yeah, just like we drew it up, chat. Wayworn Cypress, thank you for the 21 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Is Mazemind an upgrade or a downgrade from Treasure Map? It's just different. It's just different. So if we draw an untapped land next turn, we get to Lukka this into an 8/8. Is the hope here. Swish. Swish, chat. Run! It's Godzilla! Until your next turn, creatures your opponents control attack if able. So I'm gonna hold on to this till we get to eat their 3/3, right? Yes, this by no means guarantees we win, right? It means we're in a good board state, but it by no means just ends the game. Yeah, preferred websites for MTG tournament results. What's it called? MTG Melee is kind of like the stock go-to at this point. It's real good. Is Mazemind Tome... Is this a spell or is it a land? I think it's a spell. Let's draw a card looking for a different land. Yeah, I mean, the 8/8 didn't win the game on its own, but, like, we're also, like, in an okay spot, right? He says before his opponent plays a 7/7 Stonecoil Serpent. That's a really big Elder Gargoth, chat. Remember that time? Oh, this deals twice X damage? That's so busted, chat. Red never gets to kill things that are 6/6s. That's so good. Nailed it. Red decks aren't supposed to kill 6/6s. Is this wizardry? Nine mana. I guess if I pass to them and I use this plus this on their turn, I get to make another 1/1. It says trample. Master Nexion, thank you for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Oglandia. You're staying safe out there wherever you're at. It says trample, so can't jump block out of it. Hey, Pork, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Be sure to let me know on your sub-survey next month that you enjoy the split schedule. Base Sport, thank you for the 15 months. Interesting sequencing. I guess they were trying to bait a counterspell. Oh, right, this doubles if X is 6 or more, right? Huh. So this does 12 total now? Right? Why did I choose X is 10? X is 6. Unfortunately, can't kill these two, but I can wipe these two out at least. And this, notably, doesn't trample. If we fade a creature draw this turn, we're going to be in a really good spot. And so long as they don't just chain a bunch of creatures here, we could really end up being okay. Especially with the second Shatterskull in hand. Yikes. Yikes. Well, poop. The story of our life, hoping to fade for a turn, huh? Rough. It's a hard knock life. Do 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 do. Yeah, there's a good chance that if the big stuff green aggro deck is in the format, that our deck's just not good enough. Deck has a real hard time dealing with chunky boys and girls. Chunky monsters. We're just bottoming Lukka. I guess I have Alliance lined up. Let's see this. Does mono green have a chance versus the 4-color Omnath piles? I've seen a few people post things to the effect that they think so. I think I probably don't want to run Alliance into Jwari Disruption on their side of the board. It's like a little bit of a rogue brew on the other side. mean, to set a low bar, rogues can't possibly be worse with a rogue on. I mean, like, if something like the mono green deck we just played against is tier 1 in this format, that's a really good thing to have be tier 1. When honest creature decks are the best thing to be doing in a format tends to be pretty good in my experience. They are playing Disruption too, okay. Well, you know. There's a good chance our bad control deck's not playable, chat. Good chance. Probably just want more cards that play to the board here. Mazemind Tome seems slow. Akroan War seems kind of slow. A lot of their creatures doesn't kill a lot of their creatures with the 3rd chapter. Okay. Do we already rant about the secret lair? I think the secret lair is fine. I think the people that are complaining about the secret lair should just let people like things. And if you don't like the same things other people like, that's okay. Yeah, I'm a big fan of if you don't like it, don't buy it. There's a lot of Magic products that I don't care for, but I just don't buy them because they're not for me. Well, I guess we'll counterspell that one, because if we don't counterspell that one, we can't counterspell anything else. Except they're legal, so you have to if they're good, right? That's how Magic works, chat. That's how Magic works. You know what? There's probably going to be more copies of the Walking Dead cards printed than there are Underground Seas that still exist in the world. Yeah, a lot of the arguments are based around people making really awful, like, slippery slope arguments that are really lazy and bad. And again, not to mention, Morrow literally posted that, like, if the cards are popular and there's supply issues somehow compared to other legacy cards, they would print them mechanically the same with a different name later in the future. Like, I don't know what more people want. Yeah, like, they're new legacy cards. They're sweet. You know what my feedback is on The Walking Dead? You want to hear a rant about The Walking Dead cards? Give them to me on Magic Arena. You want to rant? You want a complaint about the Walking Dead cards? I don't have them on enough platforms. There's my complaint. I want to play with them on Arena 2. Probably not the complaint you were expecting. No, they're not coming to Magic Arena. They should come to Magic Arena, and I should be able to play them in Historic. That's what I would like. That's my only complaint about the product, chat. I don't play Legacy. I don't play Paper. I think the cards are sweet. I would like it if they existed on the platform I play. Maybe fetching here is wrong. Technically lets them trigger this sooner, right? Storm Breath Dragon, thank you for the 1.5 years. I appreciate that. Welcome back. This only does 2 damage, which is sad. Can't kill the Thought Thief. My Belcher deck does not care about the Walking Dead cards, believe it or not. Why not keep Storms? I don't know. I don't even know what we're looking for. You're right. I probably should have traded my 4-mana card for their 2-mana card. That's probably a good trade here. Seeing a first couple of games here with this deck where the fact that our answers are kind of narrow and specific's been awkward. Our red removal not looking stellar in the face of giant green monsters. These cards just not lining up well into how our opponent's threats are doing here. We did draw a cantripping 3/3. They can't counterspell those, so we got that going for us. Drown me in the lock, baby. Our sharks aren't very good swimmers, chat. Does anybody know where we can go to get our sharks some swim lessons? They keep drowning. They're fly sharks. That's true. Maybe they breathe normal oxygen. Kick it. The locks are freshwater. Most sharks are native to saltwater. It's a good observation. Sweet Flaming Swag. Yeah, I think Mux, like I said in my ban list post, I think Muxus without Goblins is still super playable. It's got a lot of neat things you could do. Hey, look, chat. I 1-for-1 their land with my land. This land is your land. This land is my land. They traded 1-for-1 all day. Do 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 do.
Dissenters are welcome to debate, but if I can't use it as a weapon, it's useless.
I agree that our deck doesn't seem very good. Like I mentioned partway into this match, our answers do not seem to line up particularly well into what these aggressive decks are doing. In general, coming into chat and saying deck's bad though isn't really very helpful. I'd encourage you to be constructive and specific. Like you'll note when I criticize the deck, I talked about how our answers don't look very good against the size of their creatures or how much mana they get into play. They're fun to play. I don't know. The Lukkas feel kind of awkward. I kind of feel like the Lukka part of this deck feels like some hot nonsense, and I'd like to just like play blue-red Grixis or Jeskai control with just like tokens and Yidaro. Like I don't like this card doesn't seem good enough when the combo isn't powerful enough. Like the strength of the combo in this deck doesn't feel like it makes up for the fact that Lukka's just kind of awkward. Yeah, the payoff doesn't seem worth the setup. Like, my deck is giving up the ability to play things like Bone Crusher Giant, so I can enable Lukka, and, like, giving up Bone Crusher Giant doesn't seem particularly good. Second Alliance sounds great. Oh, damn it! Oh, no! Oh, no! I punted, chat! Damage doesn't kill creatures, state-based actions kill creatures. The Spikefield Hazard no longer kills Thieves Guild Enforcer because I cast an Opt first. At least I caught myself before I cast it, okay? I only mostly messed up, okay? Yikes. It is a very weird looking Tarmogoyf, I agree. I mean, I punted, I just didn't like double down on it. We fumbled the ball. We just realized it slightly before we kicked it all the way down, huh? Yeah, like both Bone Crusher and Brazen Bar are really good cards. And like we're not playing those, so we can play this Lukka. That's just like not that good of a payoff. Can you Coco into a Clothis? You can. There's a creature everywhere. You can Essence Scatter a Clothis too. God bless America, my country. 'Tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Bum 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 bum. Do 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 do. That card is one of those things where you probably never lose to it in an open deck list tournament, but on Arena you're gonna get got by it a lot on the ladder. I should probably trim Lukka actually. Card seems real bad. Just expensive and slow. We got Ninjutsu. Post-COVID, are you going to go back to going to tournaments? Probably not. I didn't really play tournaments even before the whole world went to crap, like very sparingly. I don't know, tournament Magic's very expensive to play, and like I don't feel like I get that much more out of going to a tournament as I do like just firing up the stream at home. And like firing up the stream at home is both more convenient and more profitable, so it really doesn't make sense to travel. I miss the social experience. Yeah, like, that's nice, I guess. I don't know. Like, when I traveled for tournaments, there really wasn't a ton of social around it. Like, we were adults trying to work jobs at the same time as traveling, so like, you left late Friday after everybody got off work. You came home Sunday night so you could get up and go back to work on Monday morning. You just like saw the inside of a convention center. I guess there was a lot of BSing with people in the car rides there and back. Is certainly the case. From a gameplay perspective, do you find Magic more fun when you brew decks as a... Well, I don't really... If you're new to the channel, I don't really build decks on stream. A lot of the decks we play are a little bit, like, off the beaten path, but they're largely decks that are built off stream. And in general, I think the generic deck building slash optimizing problem is one of the best things about Magic, and it's part of the experience that I enjoy. It's what, generally speaking, draws me to Constructed as opposed to Limited. In Limited, you don't really deck build. You learn pick orders more than anything. I think I bolt this in here, actually. So I can Spikefield Hazard this, and then either scatter or draw. So let's have a clear board here after we counterspell whatever their 2-drop is. I think this card is the best land spell card out of the set. Easily. Very, very good. Yeah, looks great. Yeah, hits Innkeeper, hits Brazen Borrower, hits Lotus Cobra. Team wild cards for a deck this season. Well, I mean, the conservative answer is Teamer Adventurers. Or Omnath Adventures. Omnath Adventures is probably the correct answer. Rude. I'm not sure how snarky I want the Walking Dead command to be yet. Let me stew on it. I was hoping to beat a Mystic Dispute with Mazemind Tome. Getting got by that one feels bad. I think if they make us discard here, I'm going to 1-for-1 the Storm's Wrath. Standard feels kind of like Walking Dead, the format. Well, I mean... Why am I up this late? Bear Senior, you must not have been around recently. So, with the world being what it is, my 2 oldest children are currently doing remote learning. So I've been doing a split schedule for almost a month now. So 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. cornfield time. I am live and in Technicolor. I'm doing a few hours in the morning. And then I sign off, and then I come back in the evening for a few hours. Then you could talk about how to evaluate a deck while tweaking it. Experience helps. I don't know, there's too many variables. The real answer is, like, when people talk about, I think a lot of people think there's this big, methodical, very mechanical, these numbers indicate these things, you get this result, and then this is the output. When, like, there's just a Magic play, I think it was, I forget who it was at this point, but they won a Pro Tour, and they said Magic deck building especially is the art of trying to come to meaningful conclusions from insignificant sample sizes. And that's just the truth, right? Like, there's too many variables, and there's not enough, you can't be fully empirical in your diagnosis of why you're making the decisions you're making, because there's just too much going on. Ellen Bogan, yeah, that's the one. I couldn't remember Andrew's last name. Yeah, and like at the end of a deck session, I try to give a wrap up where I talk about things I liked, things I didn't like, if I think there's room for improvement, directions to go in, but like I only play decks for like 90 minutes here at most. A lot of it is just gut feelings. Based on experience and how things feel here and there. Man, all of these sorcery speed answers just feel god-awful against this Rogue's deck. It's a hard knock life. Oh, this is a second Rogues matchup where we are also getting beat up. Lightning Strike, right? I don't even know if Lightning Strike's that good right now. Because, like, Lightning Strike notably does not kill Omnath. Hey, Caffeino Main, thanks for the quarter view. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And to what Icy said, thank you for supporting remote learning and not just screaming it's not my job. I have a lot of sympathy for both teachers and parents right now. Like, I am in an incredibly privileged position in that, like, both my wife and I have jobs that offer flexibility, and we're able to assist with the kids in remote learning. Like we've talked about before, this pandemic has exposed many holes in our very broken society we have here in the United States. And the fact that many people depend on schools for childcare or they can't eat and pay their rent is a big problem. Like, I think it's terrible that we're sending kids back to school too soon in a lot of places, but like there's also parents that are being forced with the choice to like send their kids into a potentially dangerous situation for their child and their people at home, or like not be able to feed and house that child. These are decisions people shouldn't have to choose between in a first world country. It's like, you know, like they're sending kids back to school in my area doing a hybrid learning mode in 2.5 weeks. And my kids are going to stay full remote because, like I said, we're privileged and we can do that. But like I sit there and like I'm helping my 6-year-old, and I think 2 out of the last 3 days I've been sitting there with Jake helping him do school, I like look over at him and I have to just be like, Jake, stop licking whatever random body part he is licking at that current point. Like he's just like licking his hand, or like today he was sitting there in the chair and he was like chewing on his toe in the middle of class, and I was just like, good lord, just like these tiny grimy germy creatures that like, yeah, it's just like classic 6-year-old, right? And like, I'm not mad at him for doing it, but like, these are things that are not conducive to like, you know, not transmitting a disease during a pandemic. Yeah, like that's what people want to pack into classrooms. Like, I think you could probably realistically, if you did it safely, like high school kids, junior high, college, I think if you did that right, you could distance learning reasonably with people those ages. But like normal, like, or not normal, but like younger children, it's just not feasible. It's just not how 5 and 6-year-olds work. Anybody who thinks otherwise hasn't spent enough time with 5 and 6-year-olds. Yeah, correct, Lamacopter, and that's the big thing too, right? It's not even just single family or single parent households that depend on sending their kids to school so they can work, right? Like, wages have been stagnant for so long in the United States. A lot of, you know, families of however many with two working parents need both parents to work to sustain that family. It's like, you know, I talked about it like, it's been a while because my kids have been out of daycare for a little bit, but like when my kids were in daycare, it cost me $1,200 per month per child. And that's cheap compared to a lot of places in the United States because I live in rural America in the middle of a bunch of cornfields. We just kick this. We get counterspelled and be sad, but I think this is the trade-off here. Yeah, that's what my school district plans to do too. They're planning to start hybrid learning, where they're going to, they also have like a counter unless I pay 4 here. Nope, just wasting their card. They plan to send half the kids some of the time and half the kids some of the other time. Alright, well. I'm gonna go ahead and just cycle this now. So that way I get a fairy token to block with. I have 8 mana total here, looks like. Every projection I see of schools reopening depends on children not acting like children. Yeah. Yeah, correct. That's a good take, I think. We are going to deck, chat. There are 10 cards in our deck, chat. Yeah. Yep, Super Lee. I see, there's kids in my kids' classes that do that are like that too. Yeah, in basically rec centers set up like that. Okay, so we need brick here. Run! It's Godzilla! Do-do-do-do. Alright, got him. Ha! Got him. Why are we even playing Lukka? Why is this card in my deck? My opponent has 500 Scut Swarms out and doesn't know what the Resolves All button is. Well, Nat, for people that don't follow me on Twitter or haven't been keeping up on the hellscape that is America during COVID times, there's also some school districts where the rule instituted by their health board is if there is a confirmed COVID case, they're required to report it to all the people who are within contact of that student for 15 or more minutes. So they're circumventing that by shuffling children around the classrooms every 10 to 14 minutes. So nobody's ever within distance of each other for 15 minutes. So they never have to send home notifications when there's issues. And it's just like the most disgusting, sickening. How do you learn if you're shuffling every 10 minutes? I think it's adorable that you think the goal is to learn. Yes, there are also a number of school districts that are doing exactly that. They refuse to enforce mask mandates, but they enforce dress codes. I'm doing all right, Cat in the Hat. Hope you're staying safe out there. Your elections have consequences, chat. Not only, and like, a lot of these things I'm talking about that are like awful with these school districts, like this isn't even on Trump, right? Like your local elections directly impact your life. Don't just get registered to vote for this fall. Find out what's going to be on your ballot before you do it and do a Google search of all of the various local people. Man, we're gonna get Mystic Disputed and feel real bad. Nailed it, chat. Just have a Flash Thief here. Deal. That fresh new dystopian smell. Yeah, basically. Is our area doing okay COVID-19 wise? So, I'm surrounded by rural, but I live in a college town. And we had a large spike of cases when all of the college students returned for the semester. But we've since largely subsided. So I'm interested to see what happens when they send all the grade schools back here soon. And my family and I, like I said, we have a lot of privilege. We basically don't leave the house. I have a work from home job. My wife has a work from home job. Yes, Ballotpedia tends to be a very good resource in a lot of places. We'll second that one. Yes, the places where people actually live tend to vote blue. That's true of most of the country. I think we just try and kill this here. And actually, I should leave one up in case they have the counter unless I pay one spell. Have a good one, Stark. Stay safe out there. Only number 3. Those are rookie numbers. You gotta pump those up. I'm gonna elect to not run into their flying flash threats here. Golly, good evening to you. Thank you for the very generous sub gifts. You're staying safe out there. Tradesies, tradesies. Read. I think I'm bidding... Gosh, what am I bidding here? Is it just the other alliance? Both Shark Typhoon and Storm's Wrath seem important. Safe in your bunker. Yep. Bunker's a good mood. I posted a picture on Twitter. Jake and I had a backyard camp out Saturday night. And my buddy Mike and his girlfriend came over and sat on the opposite side of the fire from us for the evening before Jake and I went in the tent for the night. And that was nice. It was nice to have some other adult interaction, even if it was just across from each other. It's been a while. They have the reanimate spell here. They get back a 2 and a 3. Oh, they don't have a 2. A 1, a 2, and a 3 potentially. Are you saying we aren't adults here? I'm saying you're not an in-person adult. We're going block plus Spikefield Hazard here. Honestly, I think I'm going to Cinderclasm. I guess this runs into the counter unless I pay one card. There are many similarities between Twitch Chat and Children. Accurate. I'm going to do this now. It's no longer a surprise, but it comes with an Improbable Alliance token if I do it now. Evening, Mr. Bob. Alright, did your removal spell. Somebody says. My child ever starts repeating Pog over and over again. Rough. This is going to be a Nighthawk Scavenger, I assume. Now, the good news here is I get to trade with this, and then Spikefield Hazard trades here, and then we can keep treading water with the alliances. I think I need better than that, he said before drawing a land. Dead to a Doomblade. Okay. I'm not dead yet. Don't tread on water, it's wet. It's a good thing we have a water walking spell in our Morrowind character now then, huh? Okay. Oh no. Oh no, I autopiloted. So if I would have kept that other land, I could have played this and activated to make 2 1/1s this turn. Oh, I could have. I'm dumb. I could have done that still with this, right? Loose. Alright. If I die to a removal spell, I deserve it. To my knowledge, Skyrim Together has not hit an official release. Morrowind actually has a multiplayer mod that works, though. I haven't felt compelled to try that, but it technically exists. Alright. I will survive. Hey, hey. Do. I will say this. So, like, and this is something, we're technically, like, in a newish standard format, right? Like, we've been given some room to breathe. And while exact details of brews like what we're playing are often going to be not optimal, there's definitely some interesting things going on in this deck. And one of the things that really stands out in my mind is, like, Improbable Alliance stalling the game for us has been very, very good tonight. And the Lukka aspect of this deck has seemed really bad, but the Improbable Alliance prospect has been reasonable. And specifically, Ironcrag Pyromancer, I think, is a card that could potentially be very good in decks like what we're playing at the moment. And we can't play it in this build because we're trying to do, like, this Lukka thing, and the Lukka part of this deck really seems bad. One, two, three. 4, 5, 6. 6 basics? How many basics are in my deck? Does this Fabled Passage do anything? There are 7 basics in my deck. There's a 3rd mountain. I guess I probably don't want to do... I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. Yeah, duress these. Hey, evening Panzer. Thanks for being here. Run! It's Godzilla! Look, Carp. Thanks for the tier 2. I appreciate the 16 months. Welcome back. I've enjoyed doing some evening stuff myself. I don't know, like, you know, a year from now, when we're hopefully past the global pandemic. I don't know that I'll do 5 nights a week in the evenings, but some amount is I would like to do still. We turn the corner. It's gonna be close because my deck only has 14 cards in it. And like they're debating, do they want to trade this? Because their route to winning is probably milling us. I think that's why I'm good with The Walking Dead. I think that's a command pretty close to what I feel. No downside, Bitter Blossom is really good. It is not bad. What's their best draw here? Eggdem's Awakening mills us out, I think. Yeah, getting a wider range of folks is nice. I agree. A lot of names in chat that I don't always get to catch. I believe that is accurate of Negan's backstory, Lamacopter. It's been a while since I've watched the show, but I recall it being fairly brutal and including things like that. Dang it, Bobby. Oh, wait. Did they mess up? This can't copy anything, right? Oh, but it still enters play, right? Rats. Man, they're gonna deck us, chat. I mean, for all their tanking, they picked wrong. They must have thought they could copy Thieves Guild Enforcer. Which they cannot. That is not how that works. All the Godzillas are gone. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night on this one. So, just to highlight in closing, one, I really like the card Improbable Alliance still, and I wouldn't mind brewing with it some more in this format potentially if this format ends up being reasonable. Why couldn't you copy the Thieves Guild Enforcer? Because the way clone effects work, you have to choose what they're copying as they come into play. So clone effects cannot copy things they simultaneously come into play with. It's the same reason you can't clone something. If you get clone plus a second thing off Collected Company, you can't clone the other thing you're getting with Company. No, we played for almost 90 minutes and did not hit a single Omnath. That being said, the Lukka aspect of this deck really wasn't good. Lukka meant we couldn't play things like Brazen Borrower, we couldn't play things like Bone Crusher Giant, we couldn't play things like Ironcrag Pyromancer, and Lukka getting Doom Inevitable wasn't enough to make up for the fact that we really restricted ourselves on what cards we were able to get and what cards we were able to play. So, generally speaking, if you're going to give yourself a deck building restriction like this, you want to be able to get a payoff that's proportional to how much you're restricting yourself, and the payoff of fetching this really isn't enough to offset how much weaker we make our deck by not playing just good creatures in it. So, Alliance was really impressive in a lot of places. Lukka was mediocre, is my takeaway from what this is doing. All right, at any rate, just to highlight my schedule for folks that are new or maybe new to what the schedule is, this is the scape that is my children's class schedules. This is my approximate streaming schedule So tomorrow morning, I'm having a little bit of a shorter stream. We're just going to be doing Portal because I have something to do in the late morning. And then I'll be back tomorrow night with some Runeterra and some Standard. And then I'll be back Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, beginning and end of the day. And then Saturday, we'll be playing the 7th Hoglande Open, which will be modified historic. So if you're interested in playing some Uro-free historic, be sure to drop into that event on Saturday. Peace, folks. I'll catch you tomorrow, hopefully.